The most successful investor of all time is not Warren Buffett. It's actually a fund called Renaissance Technologies, started by this guy called Jim Simmons. It's done a 66% annualized return since the 70s. We used to play board games every Sunday, 8, 9 hour marathon strategy board games. And they started like a science project, right? Saying, I know investing, Benjamin Graham, intelligent investors, sab padh lete hain. What if we combine that with machine learning, right? What if we teach machines how to pick good stocks reading fundamentals? In the decisions throughout my career, money has played the least important role when I've chosen to do anything. Being a founder means you don't get salaries for a while, right? For me, upskilling or trying to make sure that I was learning something new every single day was very, very important. The same thing happened with venture capital, or why I wanted to get into that.
Did you have mentors in the industry or people who guided you at any point of time? Because you are obviously like super self-driven, so you don't really need anybody to push you.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that mentorships in the industry or finding people who can guide you always helps, right?
I think that's always true. For me, my mentors have ended up being my peers a lot. I think who you surround yourself by decides whether you're going to be excellent or mediocre, right? There's some saying, right, around how you are the
5 people around you.
Yeah, you're the average of the 5 people around you. So I think that all of my friends are extremely driven, extremely focused, always giving each other the right advice, calling each other out. Hey, what are you doing? Stop. You can't talk to this one like this, or you can't negotiate on your salary so hard, or you wasted 1 year sulking. Now get back on your horse. So all of that is, at least for me, it's been my peers. And of course, when I went to Mayfield, my bosses were my mentors because they taught. I think what I learned at Mayfield that's very important is how to think. When you're a CA, right, and you get a balance sheet, they're just numbers to you. It's just saying, okay, 1 crore. Something. You're not absorbing that this is an actual business and that business has some metrics. So learning how to think, learning to look at numbers and understanding what those numbers mean about that business or that industry, it's just, it's like a switch went off where it was just a skill I didn't have. So I think that was my biggest, and they remain my mentors to the day, where I absolutely do not do anything that they ask me to do, but I'll at least go and ask them and bounce it off to just get a sanity check on how far I am from where they think I should be.
I mean, I feel like you, to some extent, you are like a dream student.
I was definitely a dream student. I'm very proud of it. I
worked
very hard.
No, I'm happy. I'm just saying that the one commonality you have with a lot of our alt-uni students is that they are also super self-driven, right? Because we are not offering degrees, we are not offering them anything, and they kind of decide to not only pay money for programs, but turn up week after week, do the programs on their own because they want to get upskilled and get ahead in their career.
Yeah. I mean, everyone here, right? Everyone's paid money to come here. That is by itself a natural selection of people who actually want to do more than everyone
I was telling them in the morning that tum to already apni competition se kitna aage ho, because a lot of people would not invest this kind of time, one entire day listening to people talk about their careers. At least I don't think we did that.
Of course not. No chance I was going. I want to talk. I don't want to listen to anyone. So yeah. So definitely everyone's already ahead of the curve there.
Obviously, so you said you finally started your own company. And
yeah.
Was it always in the current form that it is, that you start? How did you come up with the idea? What was the thought process behind it? And why did you think it would work?
When I left Mayfield, I had looked at a lot of industries.
When did you leave Mayfield?
2016,
Right.
6 years ago now. So when I left Mayfield, there were lots of industries I looked at. So at that point, I thought I'll do something on the D2C brand side, right, which is huge now. Your Mamaearth, Sugar Cosmetics, etc. of the world. So I wanted to build something in that space. Started working on it, but again, some lessons around trying to figure out who your co-founders are. Do they have complementary skills? All of those are very important. And it just, I realized that while it was an interesting space and it could be big, I was just not passionate enough about it, right? I didn't care enough about the color pink, for example, like should be this shade or this shade. It was just not interesting to me. I loved finance, I loved numbers, I loved investing. So realized that very quickly that I should be focused on my core strength and building something around that. So started that, but did that for few months only, and then stopped. How Upside started was, part luck, part what I said in terms of who you surround yourself by. So my co-founders, both I met at Credit Suisse. Nikhil, and both of them went to IIT Bombay. Nikhil has BTech in computer science from IIT Bombay. And after CS, where he was on their algo desk, he went back and did his PhD in machine learning. Tanu, my third co-founder, was also my husband. He was also IIT Bombay, Credit Suisse. And then he was the one who went to New York, working with $1 billion fund doing investing. So when I quit, Nikhil was just finishing up his PhD, and we used to play board games every Sunday, 8-9 hour marathon strategy board games. And they started like a science project, right? Saying, oh, look, I know investing, Benjamin Graham, intelligent investors, sab pad lete hain. What if we combine that with machine learning, right? What if we teach machines how to pick good stocks, reading fundamentals? So that was really how we started, which is random thought, started building something. I said, ye to kuch bhi nahi hoga, this doesn't make any sense. What about qualitative aspects, blah, blah. And then you found that there are legs to what you were building, and then the journey sort of took off from there, late 2017.
How did you get your first clients? Why would anybody believe that what you were doing would work out? Because again, 2017 mein, AI was just a buzzword. I don't think that anybody really used it enough. Of course, cutting edge companies were doing it and we didn't know about it, but it's today far more mainstream. So how did you convince people that please invest in this fund because it will give you better returns than human beings?
2017, we built the product, and then 2018, we went to SEBI and got a license to manage other people's money. It's called the PMS license. And then for about a year, and that's also not easy. You need 2 crores of capital adequacy, basically net worth in the business, before they can give you the license. Now, middle class kids, what 2 crores? So then beg, borrow, please give us. It's in FDs, blah, blah. And then that's really how we started. Borrowed an office from a relative and started. And then for 1 year, we just tested the product. We are very clear that rules-based investing is the way forward, because when you look to any other markets in the world, as markets develop, that's the direction in which they go. So when I say rules-based investing, like ETFs, right? So if you look at the US, now there's more money in ETFs than in mutual funds that are run by humans. Same thing on even hedge funds where more people put in money. So quant hedge funds that are run on processes are now, top 5 hedge funds in the world are all quants now. Right? The most successful investor of all time is not Warren Buffett. It's actually a fund called Renaissance Technologies, started by this guy called Jim Simmons. It's done a 66% annualized return since the 70s. Right? The obscene number. That's not, you don't hear that very often. I guess the point I'm making is you saw that as you develop as a market, rules become more important. Human emotion, intuition becomes less. So for us, that was really our pitch early on, and it remains our pitch, which is that investing with us basically takes out the human element out of it, but we're still investors. I'm not going to be trading your money, none of that. We will buy and hold companies, but we'll teach machines how to do it. So it was not easy to get the first check at all. For the first year we were testing, and then after that also 6 months later we got our first check. And a lot of this is luck. So you have to keep meeting people. You have to keep talking to people. This whole hustle or whatever, it's such a stupid buzzword. Everyone keeps saying it. But early on, that's all it is. You're not from the industry. You don't know public markets. So I was just on LinkedIn, connecting with people and saying, hi, meet me, hi, talk to me. And I would talk to anyone who would talk to me. And then 1 or 2 people might believe, I think this thing has legs. Why don't you meet this one person? And then why don't you meet this one person? That's how we got our first distributor. That's how we got our first client. So we still have very little friends and family money. Most of the money is external. Most of the money is client referrals and things like that. So that was really journey. It's mainly just blood, sweat and tears when you start building 0 to 1 for sure.
Now that you're running your own thing, which was your original plan when you decided to take up commerce, is it still, is it still a, this is what I want to do decision? Do you think it's a financial decision that, no, I think this can give me great returns? Will this be what you will end up doing for the rest of your life? How do you look at it?
I do want to say that in the decisions throughout my career, money has played the least important role when I've chosen to do anything. Being a founder means you don't get salaries for a while, right? And of course, you have to be lucky enough that you have an ecosystem that can support that. I don't think everyone can make that choice. I was obviously very fortunate. It takes a village. My husband was still working, and he was bankrolling my efforts. But having said that, if I were starting out, I would put money very low on my decision-making thing. Switching jobs sounds great, especially right now we're seeing all these tech engineers getting paid insane salaries, right? You start and then like 6 months later, someone will offer you 2x and someone else will offer you 2x. I mean, I can't possibly say with good conscience I would not take it, right? Now I can say all these things, but it's tough to say that. But 1-2 things that happen is you price yourself out of the market if you take too high a salary too early. Once the funding rounds run out, once the bear market comes, how will you get your next job? How will you deal with a layoff? It's always last in, first out, right? You're the most expensive resource. You'll be the first guy out. So think little more long term when you're making a decision, and mainly make a decision on the kind of work you'll do, or a brand, or something that will propel you to your goal. Money will come. If all of y'all are sitting here because you're highly driven, it will come. It's not come to me yet. But it will come. But we paid ourselves nice salaries last year with our own money, so it felt good. We raised our first round of funding last year. We grew 10x. So all of that is a very, very long journey that suddenly goes like this. So I would say, money should not be as important in the decisions that you make.
And obviously you've been a finance person all your life, but now you need to obviously do marketing. You need to ensure that there is distribution, people buy your products.
Yeah.
So how has that learning been? I'm sure there is some element of HR involved in what you do. Is you need to hire people, you need to fire people, you need to also. So do you think that you had to change your personality or tailor your personality to this new reality? How are you managing that?
So I think that my arrogance at Mayfield came full circle, because I went from being sold to now selling. Right? So now I'm the one who's calling you up and saying, hi, listen, invest in me. So very humbling, lots of no's, lots of, you still have to say, okay, there's one no, now I have to go and literally later, the next call is do the same thing all over again with the same amount of energy. So of course, and the thing is that we're 3 founders, we just got our sales team. So I was the sales team for the first 2 years. Obviously picked the short stick because the other 2 are saying, acha, hum to IIT se hame kuch nahi aata, hum nahi karne wale, you only do it. So I had to do sales. Both of them got to do the fun stuff, just build the product, build the technology, and then I have to keep going and selling it. So not at all easy. It's a very, very tough job in sales. And this is important. As you grow in any organization, as soon as you get above middle level, you are a salesman. You are selling something. You are either selling, for your company, for targets, acquiring customers, you're selling internally, you are selling. So it is a very, very underrated skill. Everyone will have to learn how to be a salesman.
So how did you learn it, or how are you upskilling yourself?
For me, it's just been a lot of no's that have refined my pitch.
Rejections, you mean?
Rejections, yeah. And also, as you get rejected now, you get better at reading people. So I think that skill of reading people, the skill of crunching how many things you want to say in a very short sentence, only saying what there's no point me telling you why my baby is the best, right? I have to understand what you're looking for and then accordingly tell you what my product does for you. So all of that is, I'm sure there are courses, I've not done courses around selling. It probably helped me to do a course like that.
No, I mean, you can learn from
you
anywhere,
have done
right?
an alt-uni?
We do, but I'm saying that people could learn sales from anywhere, right? You could you could learn it from a YouTube video, you could learn it from by just, like you said, talking to 100 people, or maybe meeting some sales expert somewhere who would give you some insight into how something has to be sold, or by just looking at somebody else. Like, for example, I learned selling by looking at a lot of other people doing the selling, just to pick up things that seem to work.
Right. For me, it was I brute forced it, lots of chaple gisana, and that's how I learned how to sell. I still don't know if I know how to sell, but it's always a work in progress. And turns out, as soon as you learn how to sell, you immediately have to go and learn another skill. So for us, we started selling to HNIs, which are high net worth individuals. Our minimum ticket size was 50 lakhs, etc. when we started. And now we're saying our long-term vision is to become a mutual fund, right? Become India's first mutual fund that builds everything rules-based. All your products are rules-based, your processes, everything, so it's a digital AMC. So if I want to do that, I need to understand how consumers behave, which means I need to sell to consumers, which is a completely different ball game. That means I have to learn how to create content, how to do social media, how to create communities, how to do digital marketing. So now suddenly I have to upskill again, right? So it's a very different I guess you're constantly upskilling, especially as a founder. So now I'm failing at that, just FYI.
No, I mean, rejections is clearly the biggest teacher, at least for me. Personally, we started with a B2B sales thing for the longest time, and now we are doing a lot of consumer selling. And पहले एक आदमी तुम्हें email पे ना बोलता था. Abhi, now you can just see it in like data and numbers.
Correct.
They buy and hear pitches products to the community all the time, and then sometimes nobody is buying it. And the thing is that, of course, you're not talking to every individual like you used to earlier.
Correct.
So now the skill needed to read that is very different.
Correct.
Because you're looking at an aggregate level behavior of people in a collective.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely a different skill that needs to be learned. Okay, awesome. I think I have asked a lot of questions, but time for the audience to ask questions. So.
Hi Kanika. It's a pleasure to meet a fellow CA. I also happen to be a practicing CA, working in the management consulting field, advising startups and all. As you said, you raised funds recently, about $1.2 million from 4 investors, out of which India was the lead investor. What I wanted to know was, what was your fundraising experience? How did you come in contact with these 4 investors, because all of them are big shots? Did your VC experience, did your past experience with Mayfield help you a lot in coming in contact with these VCs?
It definitely did. How India was, we weren't raising money at that point. India was an inbound because Satish and I are connected on LinkedIn because of my days from Mayfield. So we were putting up some articles, hey, okay, here's what I'm saying in Mint, or here's what I'm saying in your story. And then he reached out saying, I'm very interested in hearing what you guys are doing. So I said, sure, I had a call with him. And then he said, okay, send me this data. And I was like, yeah, long shot, okay, sure. So sent it, but very long shot, because what we're building is a 15-year vision. So, but Satish was amazing. He got it. He's completely sold. He got 2 angels, Ajay and Gopi. Ajay used to be MD for 3M in India. Gopi used to be CTO of Tata Sons. So he got them to invest. Then we were closing the round at $1 million, and then Dr. Vijay Kedia's team reached out and said that, can you open the round? We'd like to put it in. So you were actually oversubscribed, and then we had to close it, which is a great feeling at the end of 2 years of what's good, existential dread, if you will. So my experience definitely helped, and that's what I mean, right? You don't know what leads to what in your career. It's just important to keep lots of doors open. I think there's another saying: luck is directly proportional to the number of doors you knock. Right? So this is, live example of that. It just happened because I knew him from then and I'd stayed in touch.
Right. You can only connect the dots when you look backward.
Correct. Exactly.
Right. So you went live in 2019.
Yeah.
Right. And you raised funds in 21.
Yeah.
Are you again planning to raise more funds? Like, this was a seed round. You
Yeah.
might be going for Series A or Series B. When do you plan to do so? And So with these funds, what would you be doing? What you would be developing? What are your goals?
Are you going to invest in their company?
He
seems to be asking you to pitch to him almost.
I might just.
Yeah. So just to answer your question, maybe next year we'll raise more money. Idea with this one was to build the team. Like I was saying, I was one salesperson. Now we're a team of about 15 tech, ops, RMs, relationship managers, sales. We didn't have any of those functions. I used, the 3 of us used to do everything. So build out that team, build out some moat AUM, some reasonable amount of money that your assets under management is what you raise from other people to manage for them. So build some of that, and then figure out your retail experiments. That's what we're doing right now, which is how do you get people who want to invest as little as 30,000 rupees, get them to use rules like ours to invest. So that's what we're doing right now, and maybe next year we'll raise money.
Hi, my name is Shresht. I'm a second-year student at HR. Really loved this conversation. Just FYI, this is because you worked in EY, and I am going to go intern with EY, and I think they're still paying 4-digit.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, but
I'm very sorry.
Mine is 4 zeros.
Okay, great. Congratulations.
So my question to you is, so you were so sold on the idea of doing venture capital as a as your role.
Yeah.
So right now, for someone who's maybe in college or post-graduation, if right now someone were to set their eyes on entering this space, how would you say that they could develop some skills right now, and what path, if you were to just give some tips on what path to take?
Yeah. So I think EY is a nice place to start. What I've found is a great funnel is really this whole pre-MBA analyst program that most funds run. So what's happened since I've left Mayfield is that the VC space has become very deep. There are lots of funds looking for great talent. Obviously a lot of it is concentrated in Bangalore and Delhi, but there's a lot in Bombay also. So I would say investment banking is a nice segue. Make sure that you're in touch with headhunters. Usually for those kind of roles that are pre-MBA types, there are usually mandates put out with headhunters who look for them. I went through someone called Veto India. I think they called something else now, Native.
We had the founder of Native today morning on
Native,
stage.
Michael Page, and IKEA. I think there are 3-4 of them that do a lot of hiring at early stage level. So, I just literally uploaded my CV on the Veto India website and they called me up. And first I put my phone number wrong. So for 2 months I was not getting any calls. I was very depressed saying, oh, my CV must really be horrible. Then I realized that my last digit was wrong and the next day I got a call. So put your number right. But it would be, I think, try and stick within finance. Don't go to sell side. It's harder to go from research to venture capital, is my experience. It's easier to go from banking or corporate finance into venture capital. So those would be that's why I didn't go and do a research job, right? With a CFA, you can go and do it, but I got a few offers also. I didn't take them because I said I'll do this shitty work at Credit Suisse because investment banking is a easier segue into. And even if it's a crap role, right? It's okay. Go do it, but stick to the buy side or somewhere within that. Don't go to sell side. Would be my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, and you could also look at Alt-Uni's corporate finance program because we do send people to, you may not get into an MNC iBank initially, but we actually guarantee interviews with boutique investment banks in India. So that's also a path that is opened up now. It's no longer that you need to necessarily come from certain backgrounds only, and you need. So there are multiple routes, and we are creating that additional alternative route for you.
Yeah. The other route also is you go do your MBA from a good school, go and consult, BCG, McKinsey, and then most at least Tier A firms hire from a BCG or a McKinsey or something like that. So that's the other path that exists for you.
Awesome. We have completely run out of time, so we may not be able to take any more audience questions. But thank you, Kanika. It was a pleasure listening to you. I haven't spoken to you, I think, in 15 years. So
yeah, we went to college together, by the way. That's
but I haven't spoken to her in 15 years. So great to actually, I'm also learning it for the first time. What all you are up to.
Awesome chat.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Kanika, please, guys.